Hi and good morning everyone. Thank you all for joining today's webinar. This is Ravali, a part of team here at Turito, and here we have our today's speaker, Mr. Vasu. We are glad to have Sir here because he has a vast experience in teaching students in Australia, USA, and Canada regions. And also, he is the one-on-one tutoring head at Turito. Also, he taught 4,000 plus SAT and ACT top squares. And coming to the webinar, today's topic is Are silly mistakes lowering your child grades? And now Vasu sir will let us know why a child ranks lower grades and how and what makes them score better by this webinar. And also I request all the parents, students and everyone, feel free to drop your questions at Q&A section, and after completion of this topic, we have Q&A session. We will be answering for all the queries during Q&A session. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Warm welcome to everyone. Now, here today we are going to discuss about our silly mistakes lowering the grades. Now, to eliminate this, one-to-one tutoring, how it is beneficial for a student, we are going to discuss. Now, today's discussion will be on individual focus from tutors for concept clarity, flexibility question and answer sessions and puzzle solving, problem solving and multiple ways to get answers, identification of gaps, student needs and feedback, Turito approach to max via one-to-one tutoring. Now, moving ahead, the individual focus from tutors for concept clarity. Now, here what happens is in one-to-one tutoring, in a group-based tutoring, for example, even though there are fewer students, tutors generally have to try and divide the time between them equally. This could mean students that need a little more attention to make progress may not get as much help as they need. One-to-one tutoring makes sure that a student gets the time and attention that brings the best out of them. And this means they can progress that much quicker. The tutor can test the prior knowledge of the student before getting into the topic, whether it may be maths or science or English. Now, what the student knows, whether I have to start this topic or not, he has the basic concepts or not. If basic foundation is missing, he can make sure that the student gets what is needed. Concepts can be delivered with real life examples so that students get clarity in what they are learning. Because the tutor is dealing with only one student, because one-to-one tutoring, one teacher, one student. So he can be more interactive with the student by checking whether he is able to understand the subject delivery. This interactive class helps the student to ask more doubts, which is not possible in a group, and helps the tutor to clarify everything in detail. With more individual attention between a tutor and a student, they can also improve engagement, keeping the child much more involved in the lesson. Online lessons can extend their focus even more. It's surprising how motivated a child will be to attend their math tuition when they know it involves some extra screen time. And then moving ahead, flexibility, question and answer sessions and puzzle solving. Now, learning takes place in a low pressure setting for the student in one-to-one tutoring. This benefits may be a bit more subtle, but has just as big an impact being in a comfortable learning environment. And if you opt for uh, online one-to-one tutoring from the comfort of your home, this benefit is magnified. You would be surprised how often a student knows the answer to a max problem with a little prompting. But in class, they might freeze up or panic because they are afraid of getting the answer wrong in front of the other students or their friends. One-to-one tutoring gives your child a safer, more relaxed space to learn in, where they might feel comfortable making mistakes. And it's important to make mistakes. Most of your learning does not come from getting an answer right. We learn by getting something wrong and working out why that happened. One-to-one tutoring also gives more nervous or shy children a chance to speak about their doubts, their gaps, whatever it may be, to practice answering questions outside the classroom. This helps boost their confidence. They might even start giving answers in class. Another subtle benefit of one-to-one tutoring, whether a student enjoys their lesson, is usually a good indicator of whether they will make progress. But in a classroom or group setting, activities are aimed at appearing to many different learning styles at the same time. This could mean your child is not engaged completely in their work, which means they will learn less. In a one-to-one tutoring, the tutor can tailor their lessons to the individual learning preference of the students so they can progress at their own pace without being forced to make on or hang back for other children to catch up. Question and answer sessions can be exchanged between the tutor and the student in a one-to-one tutoring, because there will be a scope to ask by the tutor or by the teacher and get clarified. Puzzle solving with the tutor can be had with the student, because a lot of things can be exchanged only with the one student by the tutor. He can engage him with puzzle solving so that the subject becomes interesting. Moving ahead, problem solving and multiple ways to get answers. This especially is for maths, wherein a problem has multiple ways of solving. Student can focus on getting the solution with multiple ways of thinking. The tutor helps the child to think the solution for a problem in multiple ways. In a group class, there is a chance that either the student or the tutor may not put forward the different techniques of solving a problem. There is a good approach to a problem by the tutor in one-to-one tutoring. Mistakes are identified by the tutor and can be explained perfectly to move in a better direction. And moving ahead, identification of gaps, student needs, and feedback. The one-to-one tutoring aims to improve a student's understanding of a subject as much as their ability in it. Rather than just to teach children how to work something out, tutors will be having equal weight to why a formula is used or why an answer is what it is. This approach not only makes you a child really improves in their subject, it encourages them to apply the same thought process across their learning. It effectively makes them better learners. The gaps in the subject can be filled by the tutor of the student. See, he may not know about one concept, particularly where if he has a doubt, he can ask the tutor in one-to-one tutoring where no others are there. He will be open and he will be asking doubts and everything, clarifying everything. So a good feedback of the student is given to both student and to the parent by the tutor. The tutor can speak with the parent after the sessions about their child's progress, or even better, send out regular reports on progress. This gives a clear picture of how your child's tutoring is developing, where their strengths and weaknesses might be, and what is being done to help them improve. It also gives the parent a chance to be more involved in the learning process. Now, moving ahead, Turito approach to Max via one-on-one tutoring. Now, how we are going to do? Now, in the first instance, a math tutor from Turito, he will be able to understand the knowledge of the student to progress with the subject. So let us suppose want to start fractions. So already if the student knows what is a fraction, how it is a fraction, how it is represented, what is the numerator, what is the denominator, everything. So the prior knowledge of the student is tested before going into the depth of the concept. basic concepts of maths can be made strong through real world examples. So by having real world examples, what happens is the concept, how the concept must be understood by a student directly before saying that this is the property or this is the definition or this is the postulate. So what explaining them clearly by a real life example that this is the definition so that they will understand, not in a regular school class or in a group class, they won't be able to ask doubts or clarify. So those gaps can be filled by the tutor, and then he can focus onto the subject and moving ahead into the subject. The concepts will be developed and there will be a nexus between the student and the tutor so that everything can be clarified in the class. Now, identifying, as I said, the gaps in max subject and analyzing them with the student. Now, let us suppose the student doesn't know that zero is an even number. Now, zero is even or odd, that can be discussed. So he has a doubt in him. So he doesn't know whether zero is even. So the tutor here can explain the gap, why negative into negative is positive. Like that, many concepts are there. Why corresponding angles are equal when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So all these things can be clarified to the student. So those actually the things where the silly mistakes made by the students is either they didn't know the concept very well, or they may have a lack of doing a problem, practicing some problems. All these things can be eliminated so that they can enhance their grades. Now, giving more examples to a concept so that the student does not have any doubt still in that particular concept. For example, we have distributive property, A times B plus C equal to AB plus AC. So introducing this with many examples. So I can give an example like there is a class of 10 boys and 5 girls. I want to distribute 2 chocolates, 20 chocolates to boys and 10 chocolates to girls, total are 30 chocolates. This is one type of example of distributive property. 2 times 10 plus 5 is 2 into 10 plus 2 into 5. Again, I can take the same example and I can explain it over a rectangle which has 15 length and width 2. I can break the length as 10 and 5. So 10 into 2 will be 20 of 1 and 2 into 5 will be 10. So giving more examples until and unless a student understands the concept very well and making strong in definitions, keeping in view to solve a problem in their school's method, and teaching also multiple ways of solving a problem. Now, let us suppose the student has done a problem in the teacher in the school has explained. Now, in one-to-one tutoring, first focus done by the Turito Max teacher is the method, what they followed in the school, we will teach them. Then we will teach the other methods. Now you may ask me why the other methods. See, there may be some methods where easily you can crack the solution of the problem within less time utilized. That will be helpful for any entrances which they have, the exams where time-bound exams are there. There he can apply these methods. Now, those are nothing but teaching the short tips and shortcuts to a problem, which is conceptual oriented, conceptual approach to a problem, and explaining graphs wherever needed. Now, graphs make solutions better, easier. So that's why graphs must be learned by a student. So wherever the graphical explanation is there, that must be dealt. Eliminating the misconceptions of the student. Many students have misconceptions. Now, if they are eliminated, they won't do silly mistakes. So how, for example, you have a square plus b square over a plus b. A student thinks that a and a can get cancelled and b can get cancelled and the resultant is a plus b, which is a wrong one. So then explaining him why this is a mistake and explaining which is correct. Allowing a student to solve a problem on his own. Now, a student actually, after delivering the concepts and solving the problems, if you give a student a problem, let him do the solution. Now, he must struggle with the problem, and the tutor must help the student to get the solution of the problem. So here the Turito teacher will tell you a bird's view of solving the problem, how to solve this problem, the direction of the problem. This is the way you have to solve so that you will land up at the solution of the problem. Now, building confidence in the student. Now telling him why the mistakes have been done, and then eradicating them, eliminating them from the student, and giving a better approach to the solution of the problem. And we have rigorous assignments and assessments to engage students and ensure subject area mastery. So when you do a lot of problems in a particular topic, not only same model, different model problems in a topic, the student gets confidence in that particular topic. I can do it, I can do better. And this is a customized to teaching where the student, whatever the curriculum is there, and then where not only the curriculum topics and subtopics, where is weak, where is strong, identify them and moving ahead. A Turito Max teacher can do very well in the class with the student. Moving forward, now learn Max the Turito way. Though, as I explained, learn concepts with real life examples. When you have the real life example, the concept will be fitted into the mind very easily so that he will not forget. Engaging and active teaching and the two-way interactions. The two-way interaction, the student can ask the doubt freely in the class because there is one teacher and one student, and the teacher can put questions while delivering the concept so that whether the student has understood or not. Now here in this class, we explain through PPTs. So PPT presentation will be there, and wherever videos are needed, there will be a video demonstration. All these things will be there so that the student will have a better understanding. Eliminating misconceptions. As I said earlier, whenever you want to understand a concept, what is not a concept or a definition. So if you're defining a function, if the student first you can explain that these are not functions, then he will understand what is a function. Building confidence and clarity. So when you have two-way interactions, everything is clarified to the student, which is not clarified either in school, in a group or any group class. Here he can have that confidence building between the tutor where he can ask doubts, he can verify whether this is correct or wrong, having clarity of everything, whatever he learns in the class. Get motivation for both correct and incorrect answers. So incorrect answers, actually correct answers anyhow, there will be a motivation to the student by the tutor, but incorrect answers must be equally respected because when the student does mistakes, the identifying the mistakes by the tutor, yes, he has done this mistake. How I have to explain him so that he will get a correct answer where he is doing the mistake. That must be identified by the tutor, and that will be done in Turito Max teacher. He will identify the mistake and he will tell him that this is a mistake, don't repeat it. So whether he is lacking the concept or whether he is doing a silly mistake of calculation mistake or any other mistake will be identified by the tutor, and he will be telling the student not to do like this. This is where you have done wrong. So better is if you eliminate this, you will get correct answers. This is the fear of max by building interest. So as I said earlier, we have puzzle solving wherever it is needed so that the student gets interest in the subject. See, what happens is the student, for example, in a class, he will lose interest in the class is only because if he is unable to understand. Now here, there will be a too much of progress in the students' grades or something because everything, all the gaps are filled by the tutor because there is a chance to fill them and his doubts, his concepts, everything is clarified so that he will do very well in the grades. Yeah, let's discuss. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sir, we got some questions from parents.
Hello?
Yeah, sir, we got some questions, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
And the
Yeah,
first
I
question
just,
is, how strong?
is it the third one? How do you help a student with lack of focus?
Yeah,
So, yeah. So first of all, lack of focus may be because he may not get interest in the subject which is delivered. So as I said earlier, the concepts must be delivered with real life examples where the student must get interest. For example, I want to explain about an equation, an algebra point in maths. Now, first if I start X is a variable, this is that, that is it. Those the student may not get interest in that. So then I'll ask him, you have a pen, with how many dollars you purchased? If he says with the $2 I purchased, if you have two pens, how many dollars? So like that, the concept must be introduced to the student. So you can't just go and say that X is a variable, five, if you multiply five times X. So these will not be able to understand by the student. So you can ask him, this pen, it is $2. If you purchase 10 pens, how many dollars? $20. If I don't know how many pens to purchase, if I purchase X pens, what is the cost? 2X. So this is how the subject must be introduced to the student. Then he will be able to focus on it. Focus may not be understanding the concepts or not revising the formulas regularly. Then he won't be able to answer to the teacher or to the tutor who is delivering it. Then he will not focus on the subject. That may happen because of this. And coming to the next question, how do I stop my child from making careless mistakes? Practicing more. So here in Turito, we give a lot of assignments. Assignments are designed in such a way that they are made from the lower to the higher. So there is a DOK level which is followed where you have direct problems based on the formula, then the application mode, and then the harder problems, so that the student gets the subject. So mistakes can be eliminated only by practice, especially in maths. And for any other science or English, revising the concepts. And whenever you have some definitions, write those definitions on a piece of paper, revising them continuously. I think mistakes can be eliminated. So mistakes, careless mistakes is only nothing but maybe the calculation mistakes. That's what I think. But the other mistakes, which can be maybe because the concept is not understood by the student, that also may be there. But eliminating them by keep on revising everything, putting it on paper, revise without seeing, writing the definitions, writing the theorem. For example, in maths, you have a proof and everything. So revising them continuously can eliminate them. Coming to the next question, is really one-on-one tutoring helps a child with lack of attention on studies? Yes, this is a very good question. That's what actually the webinar is all about. One-to-one tutoring has a lot of advantages. There may be some few disadvantages, which are very less percentage of disadvantages. But one thing I can say is a child who is shy in the class, or if I ask a doubt, what the other students may laugh at me, or in a group or a tutoring class also, if it is online, then also he won't answer the questions. There is a problem. So when it is only with one tutor, one student in a class in one-to-one tutoring, there is a chance that student can have the interaction more with the teacher, so that he can eliminate, say, he can even say that his doubt may be a silly doubt, which may not be a doubt for other students, but it is a silly doubt. He may ask you whether zero is a natural number or not. So then the tutor can explain him that why zero is not a natural number, it is a whole number. Like that, he can explain. So there is a chance that he can ask even small doubts, which may be looking silly to someone. But in a one-to-one tutoring, because there is only a tutor and a student in the class, he can ask everything, clarify his doubts, so that he can move with the subject freely. That bondage between the student and the tutor becomes very much strong, so that even the tutor understands, only because there is only one child in the class. So all, well, let us suppose if he is doing 1 hour class with him, all the 60 minutes he can focus where he is having gaps, that can be filled by the tutor. And let us suppose they are solving a problem. So he observes the student that he is missing the direction to solve the problem. So then the tutor may give a bird's view of the problem, that this is how you must do, this is how you must go with. So that is there in a class. So one-to-one tutoring is really benefited for everyone. What are the benefits offered if my child joins Turito? See, the benefits, what you get for joining Turito, I'll tell you. First of all, as I told you, the prior knowledge of the student will be tested by the Turito teacher. And then we will deliver the concepts with real life examples, which is a PPT explanation for everything. And we have some video lectures wherever it is needed, video demonstration of 3D structures and everything, so that the student understands better by focusing on the subject. And because, as I told you, there will be a strong interaction between the child and the tutor. And we give a lot of assignments, and we have assessments also. On the portal, student portal, you have assessments of three types categories: classwork, work at leisure, daily practice. Three types, everything having minimum 30 questions in each, where the student can solve those problems. He can have, and even there is a parent portal where the parent can see the progress of the child. Even if you want to talk to the tutor after the session, you can talk to the tutor, get the what my child, how my child is performing, and the tutor will tell you this is what is happening in the class and how your child is focusing on it, doing the things, how he is doing. Everything can be explained, and this will be benefited for the student and also for the parent, because parent is getting involved in it. Because the parent portal is there, he can see the progress. He can ask the tutor. He can ask the tutor about his child, and whether he is improving or not. He can observe, and a lot of things are there. So really, it will be benefited for one-to-one tutoring with the Turito. Any other questions, Ravali?
No, sir, as of now, no questions. Let's wait for 5 minutes here.
Yes. Hello, Ravali.
Yes,
What are
sir.
the fees? Is it explained?
No, sir. Sorry, Deepak. One of our student council department team will connect you personally. Yeah, sir. As of now, we are not getting any questions here.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you, Ravali.
We are ending the session, sir. And all the participants, please feel free to drop your questions at care@turito.com. And for more info, please visit our website www.turito.com for deeper learning, safe learning, and wider learning and personal learning. Please join Turito. Thank you.
Thank you.